Ah, you made it here in one piece. Welcome to the untamed wild. Name's Colton Locke, but everyone calls me Doc. I'm the warden up here, and I know just about every nook and cranny of this place. I heard this is your first time in the Pacific Northwest and Lake District. Well, this here's the best hunting reserve you'll find in 100 miles. I've been hunting here my whole life, and I still don't get tired of this place.
Alrighty, so you've either decided to start a new game, or you're a new player. So we're going to talk about today hunting on Layton for your, first time ever having no DLCs. So we're going to go through first harvesting your first animal. On 3 of the maps, there is a provided kind of first animal, and then all the other maps, it's just, you find it. So on Layton, on Hirschfelden, and on Medved, there is a provided first animal for you to find. On Layton here, it is a white-tailed deer. She is scripted to just be traveling. She hangs out right here. There's also some moose in the area. We're going to focus on this white-tailed deer because right now we don't have a collar for the moose. We don't have a weapon that we can use on the moose. So we're going to start off with this whitetail. You have some options. So in your loadout to start with, you do have the 243 with the soft point bullets. You have the 12 gauge with buckshot. Or you have the pistol, which is the 357. You can use any of these on the whitetail. As you look over in the inventory wheel, which on PC I'm pressing and holding on the scroll wheel of my mouse, the highlighted yellow is the class that the weapons cover with their current ammunition. I'm going to use the 243 on this whitetail, but we are going to call her in just to get her to move around a little bit. So that's going to be your deer bleak collar, affected species, whitetail, blacktail, mule deer, and sika deer. We're going to use this. I'm going to crouch. I'm going to move over a little bit. Down in the bottom right hand side there's my HUD. That shows me wind direction, the direction I'm facing, the item in my hand, how visible I am, how much noise I'm making, as well as my heart rate. We're going to call. She's going to turn around. We're going to switch to that 243. Now, this is something to be kind of aware of as you start out. You will have soft point bullets, not polymer chip bullets. So you're going to have some reduced penetration. So you're going to wait until she gets as close as you can get her. Having some trouble with the picnic table, but this broadside shot, perfect. That's exactly what I want. So we've hit her. We got the notification that she's fleeing. We're going to uncrouch. Walk up here. You can see that we got vital blood. That's what you really, really want to see anytime you take a shot at an animal, is vital organ hits. Now there was a bear that called. I didn't get a chance to spot it. So it's over here somewhere most likely. But we picked up that doe's track. Orange. That is my active track color. Base game, when you first start out, it's going to be a light blue. That color was really hard for me to differentiate from the white of the inactive track color for the base. So for me personally, I've changed the colors. My active track is this international orange, and my inactive tracks are going to be like lime green. So she didn't get too far. The soft point bullet did do its job. We got into a vital organ hit. I'm going to walk and smash down some of the grass. But she didn't go far from where we started. So we'll pick her up, confirm trophy. You can see that she's a class 4. What we used, how far she was, the weapon score, which was 50. This is going to be your medal ratings for the male of the white-tailed deer species. Because she's a female, she doesn't have the antlers, so she doesn't have a trophy type, doesn't have a trophy organ. So females of different species who don't have the trophy type or the trophy organ, they're always going to come up as none. Some species, like pronghorn or European bison, or like your ibex species, your bears, those, since they do have the same trophy organs as the males, they are going to have a score. It's just going to typically be lower. There's a few species where the female is going to be the one you're going to go after in order to get that diamond rating, but we'll talk about that later. For right now, this is our white-tailed doe. We're going to hit accept. This is a new update, unsaved harvest warning. I choose to do not show this again, personally, but I'll leave it up there. It just lets you know, hey, you didn't save this, you didn't taxidermize it. The latest unsaved harvest will remain in your menu. So if you decide, hey, I wanted to go save that whitetail, you would then have to go to an outpost or tent, and then you could save it. Got some moose over here. I don't have a weapon that I can use on them. We've got a bear over there, which I don't have anything I can use. Yep, all of my stuff maxes at class 6. The bear is a class 7. So we don't have anything I can use on either of these. So we're just going to head up this hill, which is kind of the direction that you're going to be kind of guided towards. We're going to follow this path. We're going to get to the lookout tower. And I will see you there. Alrighty, here's an example. This bright green here, this is my inactive track, but as soon as I examine it, it becomes my active track. Now, any track from this specific animal will show up that neon orange color. So it is really important, and you can access that by pulling up your map, system. You're going to go through, not your gameplay, but you're actually going to go through the interface. And then you can change the colors of a few things. So I've got the inactive track, bright green, active track, international orange. I have my spotting and dog outline set to green. Collectibles glow yellow for me. And this means if I'm in multiplayer and other players spot animals, I wanted it to show up different, so it's that hot pink color. Now this has to do with the reflex sights. But that noise was a bear running past, which we're gonna ignore as long as it doesn't come running at me. But it was the bear that was down the hill. It just, I guess, heard me and decided it wanted to run by. It could have smelled me as well. But as you go, picking up tracks will, like this, give you some feed zones that you can see on your map. Black bear, 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. It's resting zone. Black bear, 8 a.m. to noon. So this is probably the same black bear in both zones. And then you've got your point of interest icons over here. Once you're within 50 meters, it'll identify if it's a point of interest or a hunting stand or an outpost or a lookout tower, I suppose. But these do give you an XP bump every time that you collect one. Keep picking tracks just in case. Pick these up. You can read it if you'd like. Go north to find the closest outpost. You can't miss the curious tombstones close by. But unlocks lore for the map, and it'll also give me 100 XP. I used to just hunt like along these railroad tracks before. So I would, run up, find the railroad tracks, and I would just run along the railroad tracks. It was another good idea. I used to hunt all around Beaumont Lake when I first started, but I didn't have the same start to the game as a lot of players would have. So Call of the Wild, it does require internet in order to save your progress. So if you have absolutely no internet connection whatsoever, like your PlayStation's not updating, your games aren't updating, nothing, no internet whatsoever, you will restart your game every single time that you open the game on your system. That is just something that I want people to be aware of. That is something that I went through for about 3 years. I was dedicated and I loved the game. I didn't know how much it would change once I got internet access and was able to actually like update the game. Like I played this game for so long with the actual like initial release base that, you know, Layton didn't have. I don't think Layton had rabbits. I don't think Layton had mallards. It was whitetail, blacktail, coyote, moose, Roosevelt elk, and bear, and that was it. That was the only thing that was on the map. And, you know, there used to be little squirrels, and I played, like, with that for about 3 years, from 2017 to 2020. And boy, have things changed since then. So we're gonna head up here to the top of this lookout tower, and we'll get a view of the area, and we'll talk more about lookout towers and outposts, and then, you know, we're gonna start talking about animals, where to find them on the map, on this specific map, which everybody's specific animal zones are gonna be a little different, but for the most part, the general areas where you're going to find the animals are going to be the same across the board. You might have like a lake that doesn't have whitetail that other people do have, but for the most part, they're going to be the same, which is why I'm going to use pretty general areas when I'm talking about where the animals are. So when you look at the map, it's going to be, you know, this is Belmont here. We have the western, eastern, and then the north central. That's kind of how I'm going to reference the areas on the map. We're going to run up the rest of this outpost. I'm going to mix those up a lot as I talk. So we're going to run up the rest of this lookout tower here, and you'll see this, you know, little information board, and it'll say survey. Real quick, I'm going to remove that waypoint. So you can't actually read this stuff. Our player is very farsighted. So that this stuff you can kind of. But you'll survey the map, and you'll survey the area until you get this little cutscene. And then it'll open your map. So all of these green spots that are going to be here when you first start the game, these are all your lookout towers. Going into your lookout tower and interacting with the map and surveying the area will light up the nearby area. And it's going to light up all of your little points of interest. So some of these are going to be points of interest like the one that we interacted with down here. Some of them are going to be hunting stands. So some of these little spots like this one, I think, or this one, they're probably actually hunting towers that you can build. Like, you'll pay about $2,000 to build it, and then it's permanent. It's there at all times on your map. You can't adjust them in any way. It's just your choice to build them or not. You do not have to build them. There's no achievement for building them. And, you know, early on, some of them can be helpful, but for the most part, I personally find them a little useless. They're not typically in locations where I want one. They're not typically facing the right direction for what I want. It's just not really all that useful for me. But you'll see these two houses. These are your outposts. So this is your Belmont outpost, your Belmont Railroad outposts. And then there are other ones around Belmont Lake. No worries, it's not just these two. You're going to have a lot of outposts across the map. But as you can see, we are at level 1, XP 299, and 549 cash right now. You've got no skill points and no perk points as level 1, but we're going to continue on. We'll hopefully level these up a little bit. We're going to head to the Belmont Railroad outpost first, and then I would say the end goal of this video is going to be getting over here. There is an outpost somewhere in this general area that we're gonna try and get to. I'm gonna say it's like there-ish. I know that you walk past these lakes to get out here, and it's north of the railroad bridge crossing here. That's gonna be the end goal of this video. But we're gonna start from this lookout tower. We're not gonna go north, we're gonna go west, here. Now, as you start off looking at the map here, I'm going to use my little white dot, which is the center point of my screen, to kind of indicate to you where stuff is. So first off, we're going to start with your black bear. They're going to be everywhere on this entire map. They are also going to be, unfortunately, hard to find. They're going to be like in singles or in pairs, and for the most part, it's going to feel like you're only finding 70% of them are female, and that's pretty much it. Your blacktail, they're going to be on this north central landmass, and then they're going to be on your eastern coast. They're going to be at a couple of these lakes as well through here, so it's not just going to be strictly the coastline. Your coyote, they're going to be everywhere, just like the black bear, but again, it's going to be, you know, small packs, singles, pairs, and it's going to feel like a lot of female coyote. Your mallards, they're going to be a lot on your river system here, and they're also going to be kind of on this river of the coastline and this southern river. I also find them on the Belmont Lake. I don't really see them on any of these other lakes, but they, I believe, are on a few of them. Merriam turkey, those are going to be on your western side, and then around the Belmont Lake area. As we heard one as I was starting the map, you know, coming up from this little shoreline, I did hear a turkey about here. I know they're around Belmont Lake, and I know they're the entire western side of the map. Your moose, they are going to be, I would say, this side of the north central landmass. They're going to be your western side, and they're going to be around Belmont Lake as well. Roosevelt elk, they're going to be on this side of that north central landmass, and they're going to be on the eastern coastline in these lakes here. White-tailed jackrabbit, they are everywhere. You'll be tripping on them, especially if you're running around in the woods. They're going to, you know, be warning thumping at you, and they're not hard to find. They're just kind of hard to see sometimes. There's a black bear. And then your white-tailed deer, those are going to be, again, over here on your western coast and around Belmont Lake. They do extend to a couple of these lakes. I believe it's this one up here, which is called South Lake, and this little portion of this lake I think I've seen them at. So that covers all your animals that are going to be out here on Layton Lakes. So we're going to leave that bear alone because I still don't have a weapon that I can use for it. This one, there's a female. She seems to be traveling with her friend, but again, we don't have the correct weapon to take that. We're going to travel from here to this outpost, and I will see you there. Alrighty, so now we've approached our first outpost. We are, you know, there's not going to be much here. It's just going to be a little house and a flagpole, which, if you go in the house, there's not a whole lot here. There's just a bed. Can't interact with it. Pretty bare. You're going to interact with your flagpole. It'll say claim and whatever key that you're supposed to use. On PC, I think it's usually E, and on PlayStation, I know it's the square. I don't know what it's going to be on Xbox. I've never played Xbox. But for me, I have extra buttons on my mouse, and that's what I'm going to use for this. So this unlocks my fast travel and facility. So your facilities at an outpost are going to be your ability to buy and exchange items. So you're going to be able to buy new weapons, new, you know, tents, collars, ammo, all that, and you're going to be able to swap out what's in your inventory with other stuff that you've bought, and you're going to be able to use the bed in the outpost, and you're going to be able to change the time with that. So right now, pull it up. There we go. It is 12:29, which typically when you start a new game, it's going to be 6 a.m. The only reason it didn't is because this was me hitting new game after I had already been playing. So now I'll be able to come here and change the time, which it does cost money to change the time. Your minimum in an outpost is going to be 250. Your maximum in an outpost is going to be 2,500. There is different costs if you use tents, but it doesn't immediately go from 250 to 2,500. It jumps up. It just about doubles every time if you don't leave a lot of time between now and when the next time you change time is. So just to make this a little closer to realism, I'm going to change the time back to 6:30 in the morning. We'll rest, which it's not so much changing time back as much as resting until the next morning. So now you'll see that cost has gone up to $500. Which, because we're just starting out, we don't have. So we won't be able to rest again. I can go over here, go to my cache, weapons cache, item cache, whatever you want to call it. This is your store, your storage, your character menu, my trophy manager, so I can see, you know, this is my main save of all my stuff that I have taxidermized. So I get back to the top, and then this is that white-tailed deer that we just harvested at the beginning here. So I can see my saved harvests. I've got some stuff that I haven't taxidermized for one reason or another. And then I've got my regular stuff. The garage, which the reason I have the garage and the reason in my store I have tents and ground blinds is because those are going to be base DLC items for console players. And I wanted to do that just so this was about as even of a playing field as we could get. Your PC players are not going to have access to the tents, the ground blinds, or the ATV. The kennel, I think, is here because I technically own the DLC, but I have it uninstalled just so I can record this playthrough for you guys. So for PC players, if you're looking to get just like a couple of DLCs, I would suggest your tents and ground blinds and your ATVs. Those are going to make exploring the map a lot easier and kind of getting stuff arranged a little bit easier. So we're going to hop into the store real quick and we're going to look at what we have available. I've only shot the one animal. My XP isn't very high, but you can see that my rifle score is 49 out of 150. So this 223 docent is going to be the first thing that I'm going to be able to unlock once I've gotten my rifle score to 150. You unlock rifle score by properly harvesting animals with rifles. So me shooting that whitetail with the 243 gave me that amount of rifle score. I think it said 50 in the harvest screen, but it might have been like 49.9. But you can see we've got some other stuff, like these are unlocked. I just don't have the money to buy them. This one is the free base game 243 that we're using. So those are your rifles. Handguns, you've got the one that we started the game with, and then, so you've got the Rhino, and then you've got the Sunbird. These are actually the same caliber. This one is free because this was the 5-year anniversary exclusive, and this is base game now. Carries 5 rounds, and this is going to be kind of important to buy, and I'll tell you why in just a moment once we get down to the ammo section. So your shotguns, you've got just 3 different 12 gauges. That's it. You've got your Caversham, which has 2 rounds, your Gamekeeper, which is 2 rounds, and the Cacciatore, which is going to be 6 rounds. And that's going to be a really, really good one to get your score up to at some point. Bows, you've got 3 of them. You've got the Bear Claw, which I believe was a free DLC, the Razorback, or the Hawk Edge. So it's going to be a bit of a grind to unlock the Hawk Edge, but at least you'll be able to buy the Razorback or the Bear Claw in the meantime. Now getting back to your ammo, rifle, 243 soft point bullets are free. You will unlock the 243 polymer tip bullets as soon as your rifle score hits 50. So if I went and I shot one more deer, I'd be able to get the polymer tip. It is 10 rounds for $530, and that covers the same classes as the soft point tips. It just has way more penetration, so your penetration is going to go from 15 to 30, so you're going to have a lot better chance of punching through and getting those vital organs, even if you don't have a full broadside shot. Some of the stuff that we're going to want to get up to, we're going to want to get up to the 7mm, the 4570, the 3030, the 338, because these are going to be your big game animals to hunt. So the 338, class 7 to 9, that's going to be a really important class to have a weapon in. 270, a 4 to 8, it's pretty solid. The 243, 2 to 6, also really important to have that class 2 to 3 covered. And the 243 really is the best weapon option that we have for that. For your handguns, we've got the 357 unlocked at base, but you do still have to pay for it, the 44. unlocked at base. And now the 454, this is unlocked. I just don't have the cash for it, but this is that class 4 to 9. This is for that sunbird. This is huge, being able to cover whitetail all the way up to European bison. That's a very important thing to remember, is buying these 454 hollow point bullets as soon as you have a little bit of money, because the handgun itself is free. Shotgun ammo, you're going to have your buckshot as base, and then you will unlock birdshot, and then you will unlock slugs. Now, these only go up to class 8. You'll never be able to use a 12 gauge on a class 9 animal. It covers class 1 through 8. There is a little overlap from the buckshot to the slugs. They both cover class 4 and 5. Arrows, you've got your small game, class 1 and 2. Your 2 to 7s, and then your 7 to 9s. So the last and then the first class of each of them overlap. But you're going to unlock the 420 grain class 2 to 7 first, base. You just gotta, collect the money to get it, and then you'll unlock your small game, and then you'll unlock the big game. You've got all your different sights. There are, all the different, let's call these iron sights. Those aren't really going to do much for you, but you're going to start off with the Ascent scope. The Helios is going to be for a few specific rifles, and then your Argus and your Hyperion. Really, the Hyperion is going to be the one that you're going to want. The Helios, however, is going to be for your 30-30 and for your 45-70. So that'll be kind of important way down the road. Your handgun sights, this one is really going to be the only one that you want to try and get up to. Shotgun sights, there is a scope. It is kind of helpful. Your sights, there's a single, a 3-pin, and a 5-pin. Honestly, in my opinion, the 3-pin is the most effective because it is 20-40-60. It's just the easiest thing to do. Collars, there are 3 free ones that you start the game with. That is going to be Jackrabbit, Roe Deer, and Deer Bleat. But some of the more important ones, you're going to want the Antler Rattler, which you get at level 5. The Deer Grunt isn't until level 37, but this one's huge. Getting the Elk and the Moose, and then the Predator Collar for Bear. Then you've got your, Hirschfelden ones, which is going to be Red Deer, Roe Deer, Canadian Goose, Wild Boar. You've got scent lures for some animals, turkey decoys, you've got first aid kits, which you don't unlock until level 9, scent eliminators, which you start with 50. Clothing, your camouflage does not matter. However, the Remy Warren outfit is male character only. Different backpacks that you can use, which they increase your carrying capacity, but they also increase how loud you are and how visible you are. So if you're going to use one, remember that they're going to make you easier to detect from an animal. However, in my opinion, if I need one, it's usually just the little day pack that gives me 3 pounds. Binoculars, you've got your binoculars, your rangefinder, and then your combo, which this is where you're going to want to get to. Then tents and ground blinds, again, camo doesn't matter, color doesn't matter, pick your favorite, that's it. Storage, I've got the Sunbird here. I don't need all of these. I'm going to take out the 12 gauge and I'm going to take out the handgun. I'm going to bring out the 270 though. Not that I have ammo for it yet. So we're going to get rid of here the ammo I don't need. We'll leave the scope. I don't need the Roe Deer Collar. These are going to stay, and since I have the capacity for it, I'm going to carry it. I can't carry this as well because that'll bring me over that 20 pounds, or 20 units of carrying capacity. If I had bought that little day pack, if it was unlocked, that would give me to 23, and I'd be able to carry one of these as well. We've got our loadout set right here, loadout 1, hit R to save the loadout, and I'm gonna actually rename it real quick as Layton. That's backwards, Cap. We're gonna rename it real quick as Layton. Hit OK. Now I have a loadout set, and it knows what to put in my inventory. the final goal is going to be unlocking the entire map, one of each animal, and a diamond, but the diamond has to be a challenge hunt. Most of the challenge hunting is going to be with a bow. So from here, I could go north and get this outpost, but I'm actually going to go west. We'll hit this lookout tower here, and then we'll come up and we'll get probably this outpost before I get this lookout tower, but we'll see. But I will see you when we get over here. Alrighty, so we've made it to the second outpost, and this is something to note. Some of them are less than in good repair. You can walk right off of this and fall off. Just be warned. Those are bear tracks. Oh, we're gonna survey this. This is now the second lookout tower location, as last time we were over here. And we've leveled up. Now you can notice that here from this lookout tower, we actually don't unlock any outposts, which is a little unusual, but we're going to stop by this point of interest on our way across this trail to the next stop. And I do want to see these bear tracks, but here's something to note. If I were to just walk off this, it would, fall damage. I would be deceased. It would then ask me if I would like to respawn, and it will not respawn me right here. It will respawn me at the last outpost I visited. So, just something to keep in mind. Ah, we've got some whitetail. You know what? We'll try and get one. Oh, nope, he's right here. So let's say I couldn't find him, right? He's right here. Let's say I couldn't find him. So this says medium. Now I've got his. So if I had just spotted him, shot him, and I couldn't find him. If you look at the hunting pressure, if you aim for the dead center of the hunting pressure, you should be able to find the original spot of blood. That is right here. This is vital blood. So I'd be able to, pick that up, see some of his orange tracks, make sure that it says run and not like trot or walk, because that could have been him coming into the zone. But from there we were able to find him. He's down here in the grass. We'll pick him up. A 189. We got right in there to that lung where I wanted to get. Again, 50 for the weapon score. He was just a little shy of being gold, but not bad. There it is. Oh, I didn't mean to save it, but we've got it. Now it's that. It'll be right here. So something to notice, so there's a point of interest here and a point of interest here, but this one seems to be lit up. That's usually an indication of it being an outpost. So we'll head straight up here. Keep an eye out for it. The outpost icon will pop up once it's within 100 meters. So as long as I get close to it. There it is. So it's 110 meters, I guess. Maybe it's like 125 yards or something. And that is something I should probably say something about. I do live in the US. I live in Iowa. But I use the metric system in the game because it's easier to memorize. So for animal weights, like your whitetail, it's a nice even number. Their max weight estimate is going to be, 85 to 100. That's it. If you don't use metric and you use the imperial measurement, it's like 190 something to 220. It's just easier for me to remember 85 to 100 because I play classic, and classic uses the same exact weights. So we'll claim this outpost. get our little XP boost. And now during that time, we did level up, so I've got a skill point to use. So I'm going to use it in the Stalker category to do level 1 of Locate Tracks, which will decrease the cone on my tracks, but I want to find a track before I do it. That way I can give you a better idea of what that looks like. We've also gotten up a little bit of cash. I have now unlocked the polymer tips for the 243, 223, and also the soft point bullets for the 270. I'm going to buy some ammo for that 270. Just 10 rounds, because I don't really like to keep soft points around. I'm also going to buy 10 rounds of the 243 for right now. So, just because I bought it doesn't mean I have it. I actually have to go into my storage and actually carry them over, put them in, save the loadout, and now we can continue on. It is currently 9:02. Whitetail drink from 8 a.m. to noon on Layton. As I described before where they're at, they are on this whole chunk here and then on Belmont. So they're going to be out here on this river, which is why I like to start at this outpost. The wind on Layton for me typically doesn't usually blow north. So me starting at this outpost down here, I'm able to run north along the riverside and never have deer ahead of me downwind. That is a huge advantage when starting out, knowing which direction your wind kind of blows and safe directions to travel, where to hunt. There's a white. 117 to 160. So he should be close enough to. I'm gonna get over here and we're gonna call. Okay. Get under here. Be invisible. He's hanging out. We're gonna use this. Polymer tips. Wait for him to be visible. Here, and then his patch. He has a lady friend with him. Two lady friends. Wait. This. Hands. Was another buck. Ooh, that's a diamond. Yeah, no, not from here. Not from here. We might be able to come back here and get that diamond later on to finish up the challenge. Oh, there he is. It's hard hunting in the reeds sometimes. We'll pick this one. 71. And as you can see with the polymer tip, we got way more penetration. Because prior to, it might have stopped like here and we would have never even gotten into his lung. But a 171, not bad. And we now know that we can come back to this zone and possibly have a diamond to finish up the challenge. So I'm going to spend some time and I'm going to visit each of these lookout towers, and I'm going to open up the map. I'm going to get all of our outposts. And along the way, if I find some of the other animals on the map, I am going to hunt them just as we go. I'll check in as I level up and as we end up buying, you know, new skills, new perks, just to give you guys an idea of which ones we're getting and why. Yeah, editing Bree here. That'll be in the second video, because we are going all the way up there. But in order to make this easier, I'm actually going to be taking the ATV around, which is just another huge, huge advantage to console having these. So, I will see you later, and we'll get into it next time once the map is open. And then next time we'll be hunting every species and getting that diamond. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye!